Hello, my name is Courtney, and today I will be reviewing how to enter your annual assessment report into TaskStream's Accountability Management System, also known as AMS. This will be an interactive online training, which means I will provide information on how to input your report, and then there will be recommended pause breaks in which you can take time to input your own report before continuing on. At these pause breaks, I will provide step-by-step instructions on the screen. This will give you time to enter your information at your own pace, so please do not worry about following along real time. In order to continue on with this interactive training, you will need to have filled out the template for 2016-2017 reporting in AMS. If you have not done so, then please download and fill out the template via our website's AMS resource page. You also need to have an AMS account. If you are within the College of EHHS and you have not yet created an AMS account, please contact me with the name of the programs you need workspace access to, including the degree level. To start, I'm going to have you log in. You can log into TaskStream with your KSU Flashline username and password, and that username includes the @kent.edu, or you can utilize single sign-on. For single sign-on, sign into your Flashline account. On the sidebar, click Employee, then Resources, and then Additional Employee Resources. Within the main portion of your window, click on TaskStream. You should automatically be signed into your TaskStream account. If you have issues with single sign-on, then it may be because it is your first time logging into the system. If this is the case, then please pull up the auto-generated confirmation email. This email likely came from notification@taskstream.com. Click the link provided within that email to sign into your account. Please pause the video and sign into your TaskStream account at this time. Once signed in, your AMS home screen will look like this. However, if your home screen actually looks like this, then you are in LAT. To switch between the two TaskStream systems, click on the link in the top right corner which says Go to AMS. Now that we are all on the AMS home screen, you will see the programs you have access to listed in the middle of the screen. Go ahead and follow along with me right now by clicking directly on the Academic Assessment and Planning Workspace link for the program you wish to work within. For the rest of this video, I will hop between the PowerPoint and a live view of my AMS account. Let me take a few moments right now to review some AMS basics that will help you navigate the system. First, the Edit Content tab is open by default. At this time, this is the only tab you will need to utilize for reporting purposes. Over on the left, you'll see this navigation sidebar. It is located in the left-hand side of your screen, and I recommend using the plus and minus symbols to make sure you have the appropriate sections open. So for us today, we want to have the Standing Requirements section open. We'll go ahead and close the 2015-2016 assessment cycle, as well as the 2017-2018 assessment cycle. Let us start with the Standing Requirements section. This is where you will keep content that stays fairly consistent across time. The two areas that are required for your annual assessment report are the mission statement and the learning outcomes. We are moving into the portion of the interactive training where I will ask you to add in portions of your own report. So at this time, please go ahead and pause the video so that you can open up your 2016-2017 assessment report template. Let me go ahead and demonstrate this for you now. Go ahead and click on the mission statement in the sidebar, and then you're going to want to click the Checkout button, which is located in the top right corner of your workspace. This Checkout button helps to ensure no one overwrites someone else's work. You can think of it kind of like a library book. When you are ready to use it, you have to check it out, and then when you are done, you have to check it back in. Unlike mine, your workspace is going to be totally blank except for this Edit button, which is located up here. Click on that Edit button and then copy and paste your mission statement from your template. And then you'll go ahead and click on the Submit button. Please pause here and add your own mission statement following the step-by-step instructions. Now that you've added your mission statement, you'll see it located in the body of your window. And now it's time to get in the habit of checking your workspace back in. So as you'll recall, we checked out the mission statement workspace to ensure no one would overwrite our work. Now that we're done, we simply click Check In, and you're asked to add a comment You don't have to do this, but it will give you a detailed log of exactly what's been done in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and add a comment here. Added mission statement on 2/22/2018, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit submit comment. If I want to go back and check that history, I just click view log. Now let's go ahead and add in some learning outcomes. Again, within the standing requirements section, click on learning outcomes, which is over here in the sidebar, and then you're going to want to check it out, and it's going to ask you if you want to create a new set or select an existing set. Since this is our first time in the system, we're going to go ahead and click Create New Set. You might have a preset name here. If not, go ahead and add in a name, something like the name of the program, and then when you added it is something that I would recommend. So for me, I'm adding in mine for the Social Media Studies program. So I put Social Media Studies outcome set added to 2018, and then I highly recommend that you go ahead and click this Designate Alignment Mapping Preference before you hit the Continue button. Please pause here to go ahead and add your set. Okay, so now that we've added our learning outcome set, it's time for us to actually add the outcomes themselves. And we're going to follow that two-part format, which is part of the template that you were provided. So to do this, you're going to go ahead and click on Create New Outcome. And it's going to open up that two-part format. Over here in your assessment plan report, go ahead and copy over your learning outcomes one by one. Click Continue. And then you're going to want to hit Add Another Outcome and continue to add more and more outcomes. You are required to have a minimum of 3 outcomes as part of your annual assessment report. So once you have added all 3, go ahead and click Back to All Outcome Sets. And I am going to go ahead and finish adding my own in, but also ask you at this time to pause and enter your learning outcomes. I've added in all 3 of my outcomes, and I've already checked this section back in. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump down to the 2016-2017 assessment cycle. There are 2 areas that are required for your annual assessment report within this section, and those are the assessment plan and the assessment findings. If you do not meet a measure, then you will also need to complete an action plan and a status report. But those are not part of this particular training video. You will need to seek out the other training video on how to add in those portions. Okay, so now I've clicked on the assessment plan. I need to check it out. And now you're going to be asked if you would like to create a new assessment plan or copy an existing plan. Since this is our first time in the system, we are going to want to click Create New Assessment Plan. However, in the future, once you've added 1 or more assessment plans, I would recommend that you utilize that copy existing plan as a starting point, as it will allow you to just jump right into the finding section, and it's going to save you a lot of time. Since we added our mission statement to the standing requirements section, it will automatically load right here. And now we need to go ahead and start adding in our measures. And so to do that, we need to grab our first set of outcomes. So we click on Select Set, and then you're going to want to select an existing set. And you'll see the one that I just added in earlier is the Social Media Studies outcome set. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and then select Continue. You're going to see a list of the outcomes. Go ahead and hit the little checkbox to include all. If there's an outcome for whatever reason that you do not want to include in this particular plan, you simply uncheck the box. But again, you do need to have a minimum of 3. Click on Accept and Return to Plan once you're ready. And you're going to go ahead and see that they've all been ported over into the main portion of our workspace. At this point, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pause the video so that you can create your new assessment plan and select a learning outcome set. And now we're ready to go ahead and add our first measure. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and click Add New Measure. And then we're going to want to go ahead and fill this out by using the template that we have over here. And so the measurement title, we're going to go ahead and copy that over. So I have the Social Media Campaign Project. Then we need to select the measure type and method. So for this, it's a direct and it's a student artifact. So I'm going to go ahead and click there. And this occurs in a course, so for the measure level, I'll select course. And then I'll just continue to copy and paste. So I have the details and description. That is what is the measure all about. So I have the explanation there. Then I have to add in my acceptable target, which for this particular measure is a cohort average of 95% or higher on the social media campaign project. And then if applicable, if you have one, go ahead and add in your ideal target as well as your implementation plan, or more likely a timeline of how this particular measure is carried out. And then finally, go ahead and add in the key responsible personnel. Once I'm done with that, I can scroll down to the very bottom and click Apply Changes. And you can see that now I have all this great information on my measure in the body of my workspace. Before I give you a pause break, I do just want to give you a quick tip for if you're adding a measure, the same one, to another outcome. Go ahead, when you click that Add New Measure, hit Import Measure, click the checkbox, and you're going to see all the measures you've added thus far. So for this outcome, I also use the social media campaign project to measure it. I click Copy Selected. I can make edits. So for this outcome, instead of 95% or higher, I have a 98% or higher acceptable target, and I don't have an ideal target. I hit Apply Changes, and now you can see I have imported that measure as well. It's much faster. I would definitely recommend utilizing that. And at this point, I'm going to ask you now to go ahead and pause and add your measures for all of your learning outcomes. And now we are ready to add in our findings. So what I did is I clicked the assessment findings link in that sidebar, and I also scrolled down on my document to show the assessment findings section. I'll check out this workspace, and you can see that it's added in the measures automatically. Go ahead and click on Add Finding and copy and paste the information from your Word document. So I have my summary of findings. This is what I was able to measure this year. Then I have my recommendations and my reflections. These are different from each other. They sound a little similar, but you can see here the recommendations. This is how the findings may be used for the program improvements. And then you have the reflection and notes. This is if there's anything unusual that happened throughout the year that might have affected the findings, positive or negative. And then you select your acceptable target achievements. You can see my target achievement was 95%, but my findings show that I only had 86.51%, so this was not met. And unfortunately, I was moving away from my ideal target. So I'm going to go ahead and select those and then click Submit. And it has added my findings right here. And now I'm going to go ahead and let you take a pause break so that you can add your own findings for each one of your measures. If you met all of your achievement targets, then once you have finished adding all of the outcomes, measures, and findings, your report for this cycle is ready to submit, which I will demonstrate how to do in just a moment. However, if you have one or more achievement target that is not met, then you must complete an action plan and status report as part of this cycle. Please see the training video on how to do that for additional information. And that brings us to the final step before submitting, which is to plan ahead for the next academic year. For example, I just finished the 2016-2017 assessment cycle, so now I need to fill out the plan for 2017-2018. Copying over an existing plan is a great way to save time, but that only makes sense for you to do if your plan has not changed or has very minor edits. If you are unsure if you should create a new plan or copy an existing plan, then please pause the video here to take a moment to review this table. When you are ready to fill out your assessment plan for the next cycle, then please pause the video here to follow these steps. And now it is time to submit. To officially complete your report, you must submit all required components. For the College of EHHS, the deadline to do that is by December 1st. So by December 1st, you need to submit your assessment plan and assessment findings for the cycle you are completing the report for. So for me in 2016-2017, that would be these two right here. If you have an action plan and status report, then you need to submit both of those as well. And then you also need to submit the assessment plan for the following assessment cycle. To do this, you're going to go ahead and click right here on Submissions and Read Reviews. It'll bring you to this large table where you can see all of the different cycles. You're going to go down and you're going to click on the button that says Submit Work, and you're going to do that for each one of the components that you have to submit. Once you're done, you're going to see a little lock icon appear next to the name, and it's also going to indicate that that item has been submitted. Go ahead and pause the video at this time so that you can submit your work. If you need to remember exactly what you need to submit, then it is listed right there on your screen. Thank you for taking the time to watch this training video. Please contact me if you need any additional assistance.